to A Healthy Conversation. Before we get started, you went to the psychologist yesterday and they said you were borderline crazy or just a little bit crazy?
Okay, just wait a minute. This is going out like around the world, so let's qualify this. Last night over dinner, I told John, and if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you probably saw this already, that we have a family psychologist that we've been going to for...
Good guy.
Yeah, great guy. And so I went to him because quite honestly, I had a fear that, I didn't tell John this, by the way, until I had gone. I had a fear that I might be bipolar.
I had fear about that too. No, just kidding.
You're not helping. Anyway, so because I've been under, as we've shared with you, an enormous amount of stress lately, and I was feeling very, very down. Yet when things would go well, I had the bestseller, I was feeling really good. And so I went to him and I said, I just want to make sure I don't have issues, because if I do, we need to deal with them. And he goes, Donna, he goes, when you get to a place where there isn't any stress, when you come to the lake house, he goes, do you feel down? I said, no, I feel fine. He goes, okay, when you had the bestseller, did you feel good? I go, yeah. He goes, then you're normal. I go, really? Normal?
As normal as you can get.
Right? And that's what I put on Facebook. I was like, I don't think I'm normal, but I think I'm a little less crazy than I thought I was.
I'll go along with
that. Okay. So we're sharing that with you, and maybe because that helps you too. Normal is just a setting on a washing machine, I heard. It goes wishy-washy, wishy-washy, then it stops. So nobody wants normal, right?
Exactly.
Especially you, because you're just energized by being married to someone.
I've been used to being around abnormal for a long time. So
okay. So all joking aside, we've been talking about how you need sleep, you need relaxation, because if you don't get it, some of the side effects are weight gain, unexplained weight gain, right? Some of the side effects are complete fatigue, depression, gastrointestinal disorders, night sweats, hot flashes. Okay, so I really started digging into this.
Lots of cortisol you've been talking about. And stress levels.
I mean, just researching like crazy. And really I took a little sabbatical for almost a week. Came down here to the lake house. John wasn't even with me, which is rare. I don't do a lot of by myself time. And I mean, I had no night sweats, I slept through the night peacefully, no hot flashes, nothing, which totally told us that was completely tied to stress.
Or maybe you were allergic to me. I think we talked about that too.
Okay, well we haven't ruled that one out. We're working on that. So anyway, here's what I found, which is fascinating with regard to cortisol. There are really three phases. The first phase, and we all know the fight or flight syndrome, which is how God made this body, that when the bear was rushing after us back in the prehistoric era, right, then the adrenals were told by the HPA axis, okay, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, that brain said, hey adrenals, pump up the cortisol, she's got a bear chasing.
Gotta get out of here.
That's right, gotta hurry. So running, cortisol's producing, everything's good, right? The thing is, when that threat would go away, the brain would then say, stop the cortisol.
Calm down again.
Okay, in our day and age, we're constantly under that kind of stress. We shouldn't be, but we are. It's the lifestyle that we live. So here's what happens. When the cortisol doesn't shut down, it's producing, and it's at a very high level, but there are no real issues. So nobody's going to the doctor to see if their cortisol's high. Okay?
Feel good. Yeah.
They just feel good. They're going, I only need 5 hours of sleep a night, and I can do a million different tasks, and I can't be beaten, and I'm ready to take over the world, and you just feel like you can handle everything. Your cortisol is at a peak at that point, but you don't know it. So none of us are checking it out when the cortisol's high. However, cortisol can only be produced for so long, and it's going to stop. It's going to start dropping. And at that point, when it starts dropping, that's when everything's out of balance. That's when the hormones are affected, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone. That's when adrenal fatigue is exactly what I'm talking about. And that's when you start having all these side effects, unexplained weight gain, excess fatigue, depression, digestive disorders, night sweats, mood swings, hot flashes. Those are the symptoms that the cortisol is out of balance. It's not high. It's now out of balance, and this is where you really want to get it in check. And all these symptoms are what's going to tell you you've got an issue. That's phase 2. Phase 3 is if you don't get those symptoms in check, cortisol will bottom out. Then you are completely exhausted, kind of permanently, totally depressed, kind of permanently. Now again, it can be reversed. You can work on adrenal fatigue, but it takes some time. So I'm sharing all this cortisol information because it has everything to do with weight, but it has everything to do with feeling good. And I think what we want you to do is figure out, where are you? if you're feeling like you can kind of just do everything, I gotta tell you, cortisol's probably high, but you won't go check it out because you feel good.
Just don't know any better.
That's right.
Yeah.
When it's out of balance is when you're not going to feel good, and that's when you really need to go check it out. Now, pay attention to this last thing I'm going to share. I went and had all my labs done because, again, I just knew something was wrong. I wanted to check it out, right?
Right.
And my labs came back and said I was completely healthy. Everything was good. Cortisol was good. Everything was good. And now that I've done this research, I am now realizing, well, of course cortisol wouldn't look high. I'm past that. I got to the point where I was extremely fatigued and feeling down sometimes. And what I found out in my research is, see, it's at that point about out of balance, it's falling. This is the perfect time for me to get a grip on it. So you'd probably like it if I got a grip, right?
I'd love it if you got a grip. That would be great.
Okay, so we are happy to have been your entertainment committee today on A Healthy Conversation. And like you didn't figure it out already, you aren't in the Kretsch kitchen, you're at Kretsch Cottage. And we'll be shooting a lot of our episodes from here because we'll be spending a lot of time during this season. So until we talk to you next time, it's good to be a little bit crazy, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Keep life interesting.
Yeah, it keeps life interesting. We'll talk to you next time.